From the school desk to drones, teenagers at graduation are being recruited into the army.
Values are instilled from childhood.
Children are congratulated with songs about prison.
The entire house is under arrest.
Shaking with fear, Putin hides behind armored vehicles even in friendly Kazakhstan.
Today, absolutely no one feels completely safe and secure at all.
Solovyov has changed his tune. Kazakhstan no longer exists.
We are opposed by everyone. The military political machine of the NATO countries, we are afraid of them.
The propagandists have gathered to bomb Poland.
Just drop a precision warhead there and that's it. And just watch what Poland's reaction will be. What will you do in shock?
The Shaman has mobilized foreign agents.
People of Russia, I simply have no right to hide this act of betrayal from you.
You're tuned into the movement Truthful Digest about reality in Russia and beyond. Schoolchildren in Russia continue to be prepared for adult life. But there is a nuance. Instead of preparing graduates for exams and universities, in Murmansk, right at the last bell, they were campaigning for the drone forces. Teenagers were given drone joysticks and told about the prospects of serving in UAV units. So for some Russians, the path from the school desk to war is getting shorter and shorter. But the Kremlin isn't stopping at just drones. The Ministry of Education has also decided to check how correctly school children, students, and young teachers are thinking. Russians are being asked to fill out special questionnaires about patriotism, traditional values, their attitude toward the authorities, discussions about important topics, and even which social networks they use.
The process of upbringing is incredibly multifaceted and complex, just as you have correctly pointed out, and it certainly applies to the broader context of culture. It continues constantly and at all levels.
It seems that in Russia, school has finally ceased to be a place for education. Now it's a branch of the military enlistment office with elements of ideological control. It seems that Russia has finally gone mad. Some children at their graduation ceremony are being taught how to operate combat drones, while others are already being shown what lies ahead. At the State Duma, during an event for Children's Day, Deputy Alexander Shaganov decided to perform Taganka, a song about the fate of prisoners and prison life.
Yes, even in Dagestan, Daga-Aristan style.
Well, yes, it all makes sense. In a country where school children are prepared for war and people are imprisoned for likes and comments, Children's Day is celebrated with songs about prison. It seems that the Kremlin has finally decided on the life path for young people, either to the army or to prison.
Every voice matters. Join our community, support independent journalism and help us bring you the truth from Ukraine. Become a member of Ukraine Today. Join us now.
In Russia, they've decided that children remain children for too long. Officials are proposing to allow teenagers to start working from the age of 12. And this is being said by the Children's Rights Commissioner in Moscow.
It's no secret that in general we need to change labor legislation anyway. Federal, because when we talk to teenagers starting from age 12, they all want to work during the summer. Well, almost all of them. Maybe not the whole summer, but they want to be occupied. They want to be involved and earn a little money. Unfortunately, for now, we can't provide this opportunity to all of them, to everyone who wants it.
And how? How timely! In Krasnoyarsk Krai, they have started closing schools. Educational institutions are being liquidated for the sake of saving money, and officials call it optimization. Logically, if you can already work at 12, then why spend money on education? The bunker grandpa keeps proving that he is afraid of nothing. Putin arrived for his visit to Kazakhstan accompanied by an armored vehicle with a machine gunner, electronic warfare vehicles, and a helicopter. Moreover, the streets of Astana were blocked off with armored vehicles for the bunker grandpa's safety. After people online started mocking the motorcade, Kremlin propaganda stepped in. They claimed that the armored vehicle was escorting not only Putin, but also journalists. Well, yes, that really changes everything. We have just one question. Who exactly was Putin planning to protect the journalists from in friendly Kazakhstan? And even that isn't enough for Putin. While he travels abroad, behind armor and jammers, anti-aircraft systems continue to be installed on rooftops right in Moscow. Oh yes, that's exactly what a leader who is fully in control of the situation usually looks like. As the Kremlin elite gets older, not only geopolitics becomes more difficult for them, but even names. During his visit to Kazakhstan, Putin once again mixed up Tokayev's name. This time, the Russian president called his colleague Sargon Kemelyevich.
Dear Sargon Kemelyevich, first of all, I would like to express my gratitude for your invitation. We had the pleasure and honor of hosting you last year.
And this is despite the fact that Putin regularly meets with the president of Kazakhstan. However, for the bunker dweller, this has already become a tradition. Previously, he called Tokayev Kemel Zhamartovich and Kosim Zhamart Kemelyevich.
And colleagues.
And apparently it's for different reasons. On the eve, Deputy Prime Minister Patrushev also distinguished himself. While reporting to the bunker dweller about the successes of the sowing campaign, the official suddenly turned Vladimir Vladimirovich into Pavel Ilyich.
Pavel Ilyich, thank you very much. The main question, yes, I have prepared a presentation.
Apparently, even years of sycophancy do not guarantee good diction. Nazi teenagers from Kirov have started hunting dark-skinned students. First, the foreigners were insulted on racial grounds, then someone threw a banana at one of them. And finally, they sprayed something in his face. Pepper spray! Apparently, the young swastika enthusiast was so proud of their exploits that they themselves posted the video of the attack online. But then Russia will go on to tell the whole world about Russian friendship among peoples and respect for representatives of different cultures. It seems that Russia has defeated Nazism so thoroughly that now they're cultivating it themselves. By the way, speaking of Nazism and enemies, Solovyov suddenly declared that Russia is no longer fighting against Kokli. That's how Ukrainians are referred to in Russia. According to the Kremlin's mouthpiece, there haven't been any Kokli at the front for a long time, and Russia is now facing exclusively the military-political machine of NATO.
We are up against the entire military political machine of the NATO countries. We're fighting them, not the Kokli. There's nothing Kokli related at the front anymore. But we are taking action, we are doing things.
It seems that after 4 years of war, the propagandists have finally found someone to blame for the promised stroll to Kiev taking a bit longer than expected. And since we're talking about NATO, Russian federal television continues to fantasize about striking alliance countries. This time it was Kardalkov who stood out. The propagandist suggested precisely dropping an Oreshnik on Polish Rzeszów and seeing what happens.
The fact that we can't strike Rzeszów, I think, is a big misunderstanding on our part. We should strike it just out of curiosity to see what happens. Just drop a precision Oreshnik there and that's it. And just see how Poland would react. What will you do, Pszeks? Well, what will they do? What, will NATO declare war on us? No, of course not. They're already at war as it is. And NATO will never go to war against us. And Rzeszów is a logistics hub, right? Just burn it down, that's all.
Romania got its share too. Kornaukov called the inhabitants of that country gypsies and the Poles Pszeks.
And it's clear where the bases will be moved. They'll be moved to Romania. The logistics centers will be in Romania. We'll deal with the gypsies. It'll be easier there.
Yeah, the classic set. National insults, threats to neighbors, talk of missile strikes. But according to the Kremlin, the Nazis are still exclusively in Ukraine. However, Kornaukov is not the only one like this. Solovyov also went off and started threatening Poland because of its military agreement with the UK.
The signing of a military pact between the United Kingdom and Poland. It includes a clause on mutual defense and joint missile production. They are closing the London, Paris, Berlin, Warsaw axis. Well, the London, Paris, Berlin, Warsaw axis can be destroyed very easily. One Poseidon, and Britain was somewhere around here. Now it's just getting in the way. Every time the submarine passes by, Big Ben keeps getting caught on something. Well, and Warsaw will finally return to its native shores. Apparently, it's bored without us.
According to Solovyov, France and Germany are also bored without Russia. That's why Chernorotov Volodya has plans for these countries as well.
Paris, well, it's time for them to fix their food service again. Apparently, the bistros have lost their way. But what is actually real? Are these people in Berlin? Really? Does a Russian soldier have to march through the streets of Berlin almost every century?
The worse things go for Russia at the front, the further Kremlin propagandists go on the map. Amazing things continue to happen on Russian television and in Z-Publics. State propaganda is cautiously beginning to acknowledge the worsening situation in the occupied territories.
Unfortunately, the new territories are taking a hit, especially lately. The enemy is attacking with FPV drones and is doing everything possible to cut off logistics. The Vasilivka and Erhoda highway is also under threat. The highway along the Sea of Azov from Mariupol further to Henichesk is constantly under attack. Now, the targets are cargo trucks and fuel tankers, which are used not only for military purposes, but also for civilian needs. As a result, another fuel crisis is looming.
People there are already openly complaining that Mala Tokmachka is too much for the Russians to handle. Their Ukrainian drones are cutting off logistics, and ahead loom problems with fuel and army supplies. We
keep fighting and fighting around that damn Tokmachka, but still can't manage to take it.
All of this is happening along with combined deep strikes on our rear, cutting off our supply lines, a classic skill zone.
Moreover, it's not just the rhetoric about the war that's changing, but also about Ukraine itself. The very same people who for years talked about a drug addict, a puppet, and a 404 state have suddenly started speaking about a strong adversary.
We need to understand who we are up against. Not a puppet, not a junkie, not an expired one, a very criminal but very effective adversary. And this adversary is capable of a great deal.
Now that's a twist. Turns out it's the fourth year. It turns out we're not fighting clowns from TV, but an army that methodically destroys Russian depots, airfields, and logistics. It's getting ridiculous. Even from the State Duma podium, they're already talking about a huge hole in the budget and mounting economic problems.
Let's see what we're going to do about the federal budget deficit. Last year we had over 5 trillion, and now it's almost another 5 trillion. So in total, that's already about 11 trillion. What are we going to do about this? Are we going to print money or something? Like in '92 when prices went up by 30% every week. But we understand, right? And
Russian nationalist Demushkin even reminded everyone that the special military operation supposedly started to stop the shelling of Donbass. But now strikes are coming not just to Donbass, but all over Russia, all the way to Chelyabinsk.
I don't know how things are in Donbass. I'll go online in the local internet now and check if they've stopped or not. But across Russia, they're happening everywhere, all the way to Chelyabinsk. Now, again, well, maybe they'll ban talking about this soon.
It looks like in just 3 days, Kyiv has finally turned into a grin and bear it situation. Shaman got so desperate to find company that he decided to create his dream concert with the help of neural networks. The singer Artom released a music video in which he made foreign agents sing about Mother Russia. The video features deepfakes of Dud, Zemfira, Galkin, and other people who, in reality, would never perform with Shaman on the same stage.
Located directly in the very center and heart of the area.
Russia, mother, right in the heart. Well, what else can you do? When real artists refuse to support your work, you have to recruit virtual ones. However, there is a catch. Now, Shaman faces multi-million ruble lawsuits for using other people's faces and voices without permission. It seems that artificial intelligence turned out to be smarter than the real thing. That was the scoop. Give us a like and subscribe, and we'll keep bringing you a bit more truth you won't see on TV. See you tomorrow!